Hey man.
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
Yeah man, this is historic man. Long awaited wait.
Yeah, sorry about the delay, man. It's just been a hectic few days.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about the delay,
Yeah.
but
No,
I guess we
that's
keep
fine.
tracking.
Yeah man, you become famous. Make like a celebrity, making your fans wait. I like it. Okay, yeah man, it's been a bit of a weird World Cup, even for the qualifiers. I mean, if you look at the groups, I mean, you would have thought West Indies would have not qualified. I know Ricky Ponting found it a disgrace. So if you look at Group A, if I can remember, Sri Lanka and Netherlands made it through, and then in Group B, you had Ireland and Zimbabwe, and now I remember it's going through. So I guess that's a bit of a consolation that Zimbabwe made it through. Although I think Namibia are idiots because if you can beat Sri Lanka but still not qualify through their group, I think they need to really hit themselves hard. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. Look, it's caught everyone by surprise. I'll be honest with you, and it's even caught me by surprise. I mean, we predicted it last week that Namibia has no chance against Sri Lanka, but that was a fantastic performance by them. And let's remember that some of these Namibian players are part-time cricketers. They do have other
Mm,
jobs as well. So we got to factor in that. I still feel losing to UAE was a real low for them. UAE is one of these emerging sides, and that is one that's going to hurt them for a very long time. It's going to haunt them. Really disappointing from Namibia. I really thought they did enough, even though they lost to Netherlands in the second game. I thought they probably had enough in the bank to go
mm,
through. Well, Sri Lanka, I mean, as expected, they were going to qualify. I don't think
mm,
they were really the full package. I think they've got a lot to work on. I
mm,
still
mm,
think they still need to get used to these conditions.
mm,
It was vintage. It was not vintage from them by all means. I mean, they would have expected
mm,
to win 3 out of 3, but however,
mm,
an associate team gave them a hard time in Namibia. So
mm,
that's
mm,
a bit of a cause for concern for them. I think they need to really, tighten up their game in Australia if they really want to get out of that group. And
mm,
obviously, Group B, massive shock. Massive shock. I mean, the Windies were really disappointing in this World Cup. I mean, we know they haven't been in good form, but this is a real fall from grace. I mean,
mm,
the 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 team of this is a real fall from grace for the Windies. I mean, they just haven't batted well enough. Let's put it that way. They just haven't scored enough runs. And Pooran as
mm,
captain, really been found wanting in his captaincy and his batting as well. They just haven't scored enough runs, unfortunately. And they're
mm,
bouncing out of this World Cup. And I'm sorry to say this, but those two teams that actually qualified ahead of them actually deserve by all means. I mean, Zimbabwe, they
mm,
really played well in these qualifiers. I mean,
mm,
even though they lost to the West Indies, the games that they
mm,
needed to win, they won. And the
mm,
same can be said about Ireland as well. The games that they needed to win, they
mm,
won. I mean, they beat
mm.
Scotland and then they beat the Windies. So, I mean, that against the Windies is one for the ages. They were completely outplayed in that game. The Windies were
Mm,
completely outplayed. And there we have it. I mean, Ireland and Zimbabwe, congratulations to them. And, same can be said about Sri Lanka and Netherlands. I think Netherlands were good money in this in the qualifiers. And I'm quite impressed with their opening batsman as well. Uh, he played a superb innings against Sri Lanka yesterday as well. I can't get his name, but he played superbly.
yeah, man, it's hard to catch up with all these names. I'm still like trying to wrap up my names, wrap up with this whole, wrap up with all this situation. I mean, it's to see West Indies not going through with a bit of a shocker. I was really hoping they would have gone through with Zimbabwe, but I'm happy for Zimbabwe. I mean, I just find it bizarre. Like Zimbabwe, I mean, hold on a second. Um, yeah, man, it's a bit strange because West Indies could beat that team but lose to that team. It's so like bizarre, man. Although Yeah, actually, if I think about it, right, West Indies are kind of lucky to even win that one match because they could have lost all three because, yeah, man, they really probably, in hindsight, I think they probably didn't deserve to go through, and I think it all reflects on their attitude, I guess, in their application. So anyway, it doesn't matter. We focus on now. So we look at it. Australia lost to New Zealand very badly, which is good to see. And the New Zealand scored a good net run rate here, 4.45. Wow, this must be like cherry on the cake, man.
I mean, the shocks continue. The shocks continue. And this morning was an almighty shock. I mean, on New Zealand going into this game were rank underdogs. And I mean, getting bowled out for 98 in that warm-up game against the nobody would have given them much of a chance. But I just want to say something. We spoke about it last week. This is a side that always punches above their weight. They always punches above their weight, and they always try and prove people wrong, like you and me. And they've done it again. They've done it again.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a fantastic performance. I mean, Australia completely outplayed.
Yeah, but I did tell you that along with Australia, England, New Zealand could also sneak into the group. I did tell you this also because New Zealand are one of those teams that always deliver on ICC events. So it's not really much of a surprise. But yeah, to beat Australia by this margin, I didn't expect that. You know?
They haven't had it
Okay.
in the last World Cup.
Pardon?
And, in the 50 over World Cup as well, they didn't really have a good time against Australia. So this win is going to give them so much of confidence. And, I'd say they actually, probably one of the front runners to qualify from this group now, by virtue of beating one of the top sides, And, you could fancy them beating the likes of Afghanistan, the likes of
Sri Lanka,
Netherlands,
maybe.
Netherlands, the likes of Ireland, sorry.
Yeah, Ireland, Sri Lanka.
Ireland, Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Who's to say this is not one of the sides? But let me tell you something. I just feel that there's another twist in the tail here. You could get a scenario where the top three teams end up on 8 points again, and it's going to come down to net run rate. And
I know.
And I just want to say this performance, I mean, total shambles, especially the way they started off. I mean, New Zealand exploded in that power play. And I'm lucky I watched every all of this match. I was quite privileged. The way and Devon Conway came out, they was superb. But Conway, I mean, what a player. Anchored that entire innings. And, this guy is so cool under that. I mean, unbelievable. He reminds me a lot of Bevan. I mean, he anchored that entire innings. He just played the ball on merits, and it was sensational. What a player! It reminds me so much of Michael Bevan as a sort of an anchor, and carried his bat through. It was a brilliant innings, absolutely brilliant innings, and the way they came out with the ball, they were so aggressive. They took their catches. I mean, the fielding was top class. I mean, Phillips' catch to dismiss it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a performance from. I think really shocked.
Yeah, this is probably a performance for the ages, man, for New Zealand.
Yeah, a fantastic performance, Sid. And I mean, with that net run, their net runner is sitting quite pretty at the moment. So I see they're topping the group as well, and Australia's net runner is right down. So Australia have a lot of work, unfortunately, to get back in this tournament.
Yeah, okay, let me put it to you this way, right? If Australia had played New Zealand on the pitch that England played Afghanistan, I think Australia probably would have won. I felt that this pitch was probably even things out, if that makes sense to you, because it was more of a dry pitch, they called it. But I thought it was a fair pitch, balanced, but it would have been interesting to see if England had played Afghanistan on Australia versus New Zealand pitch. At least the match would have been a lot more competitive, although it was kind of. England only won by 5 wickets. So there's no shame for Afghanistan, even though they did lose. But I think Afghanistan would have taken more out of that defeat than England's 5-wicket win. What do you think?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, England were fantastic with the ball, eh? Dismissing Afghanistan for 112, actually blowing them away. I think they tried. I think they quite kind of made heavy weather out of that chase. They could have won it much more comfortably. So I mean, credit to Afghanistan for taking those wickets and you know making a game of it. But I just feel they just had to, they kind of were 30 runs short on this pitch.
Yeah,
30, 40 runs short to really make a game of it. So
would have been
I mean, England will take this win and you know just carry it forward. But I just want to say something. You know, the pitch in Sydney was a really good pitch. Australia just didn't apply themselves. It was a really good batting pitch. I mean, there wasn't much demons in this pitch. I mean, look the way New Zealand batted. They batted fantastically. And, I mean, Australia being the home team, they should be more... You know, I don't want to look at the pitch as being excuses. I mean, Australia as a home team, they should be used to the conditions. They didn't show up for this game. They were completely outplayed. And I got a feeling with this Australian side and the sort of players they picked, there doesn't seem to be an anchor in this team anymore. Because Steve Smith was a really important cog to this team. He was a kind of an anchor, and you've just got players now that are going bang bang. You know when I'm saying bang bang, you got the likes of Davids, you got the likes of Stoinis, Wade, you know Maxwell, that are just going bang bang. And if Australia actually batted the entire 20 overs, which was really important, especially for net run rate, and maybe scored around 180 to 180, maybe this defeat wouldn't have looked that bad. But because they got bowled out for such a big margin, such a huge margin, I think this really affect their net run rate. Their net run rate is in the real negative now, and it's a long way back for them now. Hey, they really gotta win and win big in those next couple of games. I hate to say it, but if you're looking at those teams at the moment, I think England would fancy their chances against this Australian side at the moment, judging by what I see in this performance.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it would be fun to see if but I wonder which ground they're playing in. Hopefully it's the ground that England played at Afghanistan.
I got a feeling it's Melbourne, but I'll just that. Yeah. But I mean, it's really going to be interesting.
Oh,
it's really going to be interesting. I feel, I feel Group A is so much more. What can I say? It's so much more wide open than probably Group B. Because there's Sri Lanka there as well, and you really can't write off Sri Lanka as well. So, I mean, this group.
It depends on the pitch of Sri Lanka play in, right? It depends on the pitch of Sri Lanka play in. If they're going to play Australia and England on the pitch that Afghanistan played England, then I don't think Sri Lanka has a hope in hell. But if they play a pitch against them in Sydney, then they're evened out the playing field. That's why I thought if Australia played New Zealand on England's pitch, then it would have been more interesting to have watched that. I think Australia probably would have won because the paceman would have had much more luck. But it doesn't matter. Over and done with. I'm happy for New Zealand. And then we go into the tomorrow's pick.
Yeah, look, bro. I mean, Australia have their work cut out now. They've got to win 4 games on the bar. They win. They lose another game. It's over. It's gone for them. They're out of this tournament. And unfortunately, this is the nature of T20 cricket. If you lose 2 games on the trot, you're out of the tournament. So, you know, they've sort of got to play tournament cricket now and fighting cricket to stay in this tournament because, I mean, their net run rate has taken a huge blow today, losing so badly against New Zealand. Yeah, I mean, New Zealand are looking good at the moment. They're looking pretty good. Shh. They're looking pretty good at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, let's just do the quick recap for tomorrow. Sri Lanka and Ireland. I'm going with Sri Lanka to win. Although don't discount Ireland, but I think Sri Lanka will be... I think they're more of a tournament side. I think they've had that one headache that was Namibia. I think they've woken up from that, and I think they'll win it, even if they don't win it convincingly, but they'll win it. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, interesting fixture. Hey, and I just want to say, people are going to find this game a lot closer than expected because Ireland, from what I saw from Ireland, I mean, they are side on the improvement. Hey, they are side on the up. They've got a fantastic batting lineup, and Paul Sterling, I mean, return to form. I think he's going to be dangerous up the order along with Balbirnie, the captain. I mean, if those guys can give a rollicking start, you know, they could be in for some fireworks there. So, yeah, Sri Lanka probably slight favourites, but you know, I wouldn't discount Ireland yet.
And then Hobart. What kind of pitch is Hobart? Is it a fair pitch or is it more bouncier? What kind of it? from your experience?
It's a bit on the slow side, I would say.
Oh, then Sri Lanka will win then.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if it was a spicy pitch, I would have said it was more even Stevens. And Ireland like to chase, so I think, okay, let me put it to you this way. If Ireland chase, and they're chasing around 140, 150, they'll win. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I concur with whatever you're saying.
But if Sri Lanka, okay, no, it's like if Sri Lanka bat first and make 180, I think Sri Lanka wins easy because their spinners will be good for them. But they got to make sure they make that 180 score.
Yeah, as I'm saying, Sid, I mean, Sri Lanka haven't been, a dominant side so far in this tournament. When I'm talking about dominance, they haven't really come to the A game. I still think they're in gears. I still think we haven't seen the best of them as yet. So
definitely.
We probably get a better performance. But geez, this game is going to be close, hey? I mean, if Ireland's demolition of the West Indies is anything to go by, this game is going to be close. And because it's in Hobart, and because Ireland have played so many games in Hobart, I give them a chance. But Sri Lanka obviously slight favorites with the experience that they have, and the bowling lineup that they do have as well.
Okay, all right. So we get to the final match, which is like the blockbuster one. India and Pakistan. I can see your face. I'm so excited. It's in Melbourne, and I think it's a fair pitch, Melbourne. I don't think it's too spicy or it's too spinning. I think that's a fair pitch, isn't it, Melbourne?
Yeah, I mean, 90,000 sold out in half an hour. I mean, this is going to be a blockbuster. This is an occasion. It's really going to be an occasion. I think, we don't really see this rivalry too much these days, and it's such a heated rivalry, and we already see it at tournaments. So, I mean, it's going to be a sporting spectacle, by no means. Look, both teams have their weaknesses. I think India, their batting is obviously much stronger than Pakistan, but their bowling is something that they really need to work on. I think their bowling is their weakness. And then with Pakistan, I mean, world-class bowling attack. I mean, you got Babar and Rizwan. I mean, those guys have been they've carried this team. Let's put it that way. They've carried this team for quite some time now. And, my only concern with Pakistan is that middle order.
Yeah.
That middle order seems a bit unpredictable. If they lose Babar and Rizwan early, I can see them being in a bit of trouble there. So yeah, I think India has a slight edge here in terms of their batting lineup. The batting lineup is quite explosive. They've got enough players to score those runs. It's going to be interesting. I think the toss is going to be crucial here, Sid.
Yeah.
I think whoever really want to chase.
It's been a bit weird, this whole World Cup. I've been noticing teams batting first have been winning majority of the time. It's like the opposite of the UAE. Win, toss, and chase, and goodbye. Yeah, it's like a bit of a reverse. Although I don't think it's been, I would say, that bad. Because New Zealand, I don't think it's been that bad. England did chase. So at least it makes it back to reality in a way. But Australia and New Zealand won batting first and defending. So it's been a bit mixture. It's good to have that mixture. Otherwise it gets a bit boring. So I think I was just looking at this group here: Bangladesh, India, Netherlands, Pakistan, South Africa, Zimbabwe. I have this theory, right? If India don't beat Pakistan tomorrow, it's going to be really difficult because they have to beat us, which is not easy. And then there's also, the rest of the team India should beat, like Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, and Netherlands. Afterwards, it becomes a bit too much of a headache. So I think India has to beat Pakistan so that they don't have to have the stress of beating us, So I'm hoping for India beating Pakistan, so that even if they lose to us, it's not a problem.
Make no mistakes. I mean, this is a massive game tomorrow, and I think whoever loses this game is going to have it difficult, actually trying to get out of this group because, I mean, as you said, I mean, you've got the Proteas, you've got Pakistan. You've got India. I think the other three. I think the thing that works in South Africa's favor, kind of, is that they've got some easier games, actually leading up to the tough games. So they can rack up some more. The likes of India and Pakistan. Whoever loses tomorrow, actually be able to rack up some points. So I think that's the probable advantage that they do have, and I think playing India at Perth as well. I'm talking about the Proteas. That gives them a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, man,
as
that's a
well,
bit
because
worrying.
those will really
Tomorrow.
suit the likes of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Rabada and Nokia. So no,
yeah.
it's a massive game, sir. It's a massive game. There's so much riding on this game. It's such an emotional game for the fans, for the
Mm.
players. I just think India have an edge here in terms of their batting. Their batting is much more potent than Pakistan.
Yeah, but Pakistan are a tournament team, eh? So I wouldn't worry too much about Pakistan's batting for some reason. They just seem to deliver when tournament comes, and then it's basically Pakistan's bowling versus India's batting. It's a simple scenario, simple headline.
Look, I say they're a side that really drives on emotion. I think if they play with emotion, they normally do well. So, as I say, I mean, there could be no greater motivation than winning against India's. But I
Mm.
just worry lineup. I just feel their batting lineup after the likes of Babar and Rizwan
Mm.
is looking quite. Their middle order is really thin. I think they
Mm.
rely a lot on their bowlers. And I
Mm.
mean, you can't always get your bowlers big out, so you got to get your batsmen obviously playing. But I mean, they're
Yeah.
a dangerous side. Make no mistake, they're a dangerous side. I mean, they can come good on their day, and with their bowling attack, I think with the likes of the Proteas and England as well. I think they've got one of the most potent bowling attacks in this tournament.
Yeah, man. I'm just thinking now, tomorrow's in Melbourne. I think it's a fair pitch, so I think India might prefer to chase tomorrow. I don't think they'll want to bat first. Although I think it's not like Dubai, whereby there'll be so much dew that you're kind of like chasing your tail. So I think it doesn't really matter much. But India will prefer to chase tomorrow. I think India will win if they're chasing tomorrow. That's my bet. But I hope I'm wrong. India must win either way, but that's just my
Yeah, I mean,
theory.
yeah. I mean, like I said, the team that probably wins the toss will probably want to chase. So the toss is going to be crucial. It's going to be massive. I mean, we saw it in the last World Cup, but I feel the last World Cup was a lot more predictable because I mean,
Mm.
Dubai, I mean, win the toss, bowl for chase. It really got too predictable, and I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't really a good ending to the World Cup in the sense that
Mm.
you
Mm.
kind of knew what was coming. But I think
Mm.
this World Cup is a lot more unpredictable, and I think the longer
Yeah.
boundaries are going to be. It's going to test the batsmen if they can clear these long boundaries. Yeah, I mean, this is a blockbuster tomorrow. Can't wait for it.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, the connection is a bit.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying, like, any final words before we wrap off?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, tomorrow, I mean, we got Sri Lanka and Ireland. I'd say Ireland are slight favorites, and then with India, Pakistan. Yeah,
Hmm.
I got to give it to India. Hey, I just think Pakistan's batting lineup is sort of very thin.
Hmm.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised they show up as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a humdinger. And then obviously, on Monday, that's an important one for the Proteas and against Zimbabwe.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually look at the. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but the thing is, our neighbor Zimbabwe. Who would have thought that? So, yeah, I expect us to beat Zimbabwe in Hobart. Yeah, we should beat them. Nice warm up for us if we play to our potential, that is.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hello? You there?
Yeah, I look. It's an important game because I mean, you got to try and get those points on board because I mean the games are going to be getting tougher and tougher. So it's very
Hmm.
important to get those points. Yeah,
Yeah, Netherlands, I'd love to see Bangladesh. It would be kind of nice for the tournament.
yeah. I mean, look. The only thing with Bangladesh is not up to scratch till now. So yeah, and obviously these conditions are quite foreign to them as well. So I think
Hmm.
they're going to have it a bit difficult in Australia. Yeah,
Hmm. And then Australia will play Sri Lanka Tuesday, which is actually, so yeah. I'm expecting that to be an Australian win on Tuesday. That's my theory anyway.
Well, I mean, it's going to be important to see what this Australian mindset is. I mean, how much a blow has this defeat today taken to their confidence? So it's going to be really interesting. I don't think it's going to be a foregone conclusion. This is a World Cup. It's always going to be pressurizing, and you never know what you're going to get in these World Cups. Sri Lanka could show up as well. So I mean, I don't think it's going to be as easy and plain sailing as people think it's going to be against Sri Lanka. So
now I'm only saying that
if Sri Lanka win tomorrow and they win big, that's going to give them confidence.
No, you see, I'm only saying that because if you look at the pitch that England played against Afghanistan today, which was quite spicy, and if Australia bowled have the ball on that pitch against Sri Lanka, I just think Australia will have too much for them if they play to potential. And then, yeah.
So are they playing at Perth? Are they playing at Perth?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'd probably give Australia the edge there because I mean, of their fast bowling quartet with the likes of Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark, and you got Stoinis there as well. So they kind of got the edge in terms of the fast bowling. I don't think Perth is going to offer much to the spinners. So yeah, enjoy the conditions as well in terms of the batting as well. The ball coming onto the bat in Perth. So I mean, that's if you talk about Australian pitches, that pitch cannot be any more Australian than, I mean, Perth is proper Australian. Yeah, doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, it's kind of one, at home, nice hard rock surface. That's obviously gonna seamless.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much a wrap. I shall check you next week.
Yeah, cheers, Sid. Chat to you soon, and happy Diwali to you.
You
for
too,
Monday,
man.
and happy Diwali to the viewers.